Hey guys, thank you very much for joining another Skillbridge here at CloudTask. So let's get started with our mini lesson. So as you guys know, we have two different ways of either you get activated, right? And it's more of a passive approach, or you get activated and you get a top rated badge, allowing you to apply directly for these opportunities, right? So let me share screens and go straight into the marketplace, show you guys what is needed for that activation and the difference between, hey, what do I need to get activated as opposed to what do I need to get that top rated badge? So let me go ahead and share screens. Right. And I'll zoom in a bit if needed. All right, cool. So as you guys can see, Sarah, what country, and the main role, right? Because some of you guys might be looking for different roles. A title, right? A good title, sales development representative. Oh, I don't want to click there just yet. Sales development representative, outbound sales and customer support specialist. 2 years of experience in CRM and cold calling, +1 in customer support. Okay, not bad. Could have stated, what type of industries you've worked in already and what type of software. If it's been a bunch, you're not going to list a bunch. You're going to list the top two, right? The top one. So this is a good title. Next one, sales development representative. Okay, awesome. So we see a trend here. So let's get a quick overview. Professional picture, right? Headshot here. My man Benito has a nice tie and a suit on. All right, cool. Sarah has a headshot as well, but nice, has her hair done. My man Chris here, also well dressed. Roberta as well. My man Peter, we could definitely improve on that title. We'll get to that in a second. So as you guys can see, dress to impress. So the profile picture is the first thing that they see. Then they'll look at the name, or vice versa. They'll check out the name and check out the picture. All right, are they looking professional? All right, let's check out that title. And let's check out that price point for a full-time job, right? The rest, I'm not saying it's not important, but these are the main characteristics you have to have in order to get activated. So it's a picture, a title, your work experience, right? And finally, a video. Now, the video cannot have your last name, cell phone number, email address, right? Personal contact information is given once an offer is sent out, right? So keep that in mind. Don't say your last name in the video, or you will have to retake it. So moving forward, we have the picture, title, video, and work experience. Awesome. That's what you guys need. You check on all of those boxes, and you're getting activated, right? Those are the bare minimum requirements. Now, in order to get a top-rated badge, you need to be very specific with your experience. So let's check out Sarah since I'm already on there. Let's see if Sarah should get that top-rated badge. So sales rep, we have my responsibilities included, prospecting the correct people to contact in a company, finding out the best way to reach out to them. My day-to-day included cold call. I love it. I was MVP of my team 2 quarters in a row. 224% of my quota. All right, I'm loving this. The reason for this is because there's details here. You're being specific. You're giving me numbers, percentages, timeframes, milestones. What hiring leader would not want to see this, right? So good job there. Now we have a good title as well, right? I'm a positive, resilient, and passionate professional who loves problem solving and learning from my leaders and my peers. My goal is to join a company that requires, great. So I like it. Could it be improved? I would say yes. Just as specific, Sarah, if you're watching this, make sure that you're being specific on your About Me section, right? I love the fact that, okay, I know that you speak English, Portuguese, and intermediate French. I love that. Don't take that away. But I would say the soft skills, hard skills, it's best to mention, with real examples in that About Me section. All right, just pointing that out there. But everything else, I believe I'm about to give Sarah a top-rated badge. Now let's check out the video real quick all together. Give me just 1 second. All right, so let me stop sharing, and I need to share with computer sound. 1 second, please. All right, Chrome tab. There we go. All right. So as well, I want to point out on the video, so headshot, right? The format should always be horizontal. If your camera phone has a better camera resolution than your laptop, which tends to be the case, I think that's the same case with me. Make sure you flip it horizontally. So that way you have your head and your shoulders in frame. You're able to throw in a few hand movements, right? You don't have to start karate chopping every single time you speak, but some slight hand movements will be good. As well dressed, in a good place in your home, in your office space. So again, wanted to highlight before even hitting play on Sarah's video. Let's check it out. And it's 55 seconds. We recommend 60 to 2 minutes. If you guys go over, hey, that's fine, because you're a free agent. You're able to do whatever you'd like with your video, your profile. We just recommend 60 seconds to 2 minutes tops. And that's it. Let's check it out.
Hey there, I'm a bilingual professional, fluent in Portuguese and English, and I'm currently looking for a position in account management, onboarding and implementation, or customer success. I have experience with outbound sales and customer support, and as a sales development representative, I was awarded 2 quarters in a row as the MVP of my team. And right now, during Q1 2025, the quarter isn't over yet, but I was able to hit 224% of my quota already. So these experiences I've had have prepared me to take on any customer-facing roles, and my adaptability allows me to learn and apply quickly whatever training I may need to excel in my new role. I'm familiar with tools such as Salesforce, SalesLoft, SalesNav, HubSpot, Slack, Google Teams, and Gong, and I'm looking forward to scheduling a meeting with you. Thank you.
All right. Good stuff. So I'm definitely going to stop sharing and show you guys in real time while I get Sarah's top-rated badge. What I'd like to highlight about the video, once again, it's short, clear, concise. She's sharing her milestones. Now, I've gotten pretty good at this, but I'm not going to say that I'm 100% sure, but I'm under the impression that Sarah might slightly be reading. So again, it's not the end of the world because Sarah's still getting that top-rated badge, right? But what I was going to state is some companies have discredited some interviews or interview requests based on the fact if you look like you're reading too much, right? So if, let's say, English isn't your first language, might be your second language, right? You might be a B2. If you're having to read everything word for word, that might, like I said, cause a reaction where you don't get the interview. Enough said. So what we recommend is rehearse, and then have a few notes, there for some specific dates, some specific milestones, some numbers, percentages. But again, you're going to try and flow into it just looking at the camera. So again, well done, Sarah. Notice just at the end, more towards the end, when you were giving off the technology you use, kind of looked like your eyes deviated a bit. But like I said, very well done. So well done indeed that I'm going to share screens and show you right now, Sarah. And I will find you because there we go. Sarah, so active listing, as you guys can see, and I'm going to place you as a top rated, right? What is that top rated going to allow Sarah to do? It's going to let her, like I said before, apply directly to these opportunities. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's not just a pretty little symbol on your profile. You're able to be proactive instead of waiting for a company to visibly look at your profile, but now you can go out hunting, basically, right? So cool stuff. Sarah, congrats. So let's share screens once again and then just wrap it up with that mini lesson. Let me go back. All right, cool. It is the right screen. All right. So once again, Sarah is now top rated. We'll refresh so we can actually see that in real time. Awesome. All right. So we have our top rated badge. If Sarah wants to go apply, she can now. Guys, difference now, main difference, how besides filling out your profile with more details, right? Because it's not just, I can be very, very detail oriented and specific in my profile creation, and I'm going to get that top rated badge. So the video is a huge piece to it, right? So I would say probably 50%, right? Probably 50%, 40% is probably based on your English level, and then 10% is based off of your experience. So on those percentages, right, the video, you should come across confident, right? I think Sarah portrayed a confident individual. Express yourself, not just speak about, hey, I got 3 kids, Mariana, Luciana, Felipe, and I have, 3 beautiful cats, and right, and go into all of these great hobbies. Sometimes we need to understand, yeah, you can mention, hey, I live in this country, have a wife, 3 beautiful kids, they keep me motivated. And my most recent experience was as a sales manager doing X, Y to the Z using platforms and tools like, right? So make sure you guys hone in on that and can portray yourself in 60 seconds to 2 minutes clearly and concisely. So again, well done, Sarah. Difference between an activation to a top rated would be completion of profile, of course. Your video, you need to come across very confidently. You need to hit the details of what industries you've worked in, what type of roles you've held, what type of success stories you can share, right? And then also, guys, your English level, right? So we have to be honest. If you have a B2 or lower than a B2, you won't be getting that top rated badge as easily. Now, do we have a few B2s with a top rated badge? Of course, B1s, A2s, and A1s. You guys have to work harder, right, to get to that B2 level. As you notice, Sarah, she hit all the check boxes for the top rated badge. If you guys feel that you should have that top rated badge, reach out to us. Reach out to us because you might have updated some of the information. We haven't been able to check it out. Reach out to us. We will do it. And in real time, we'll give you guys that top rated badge. So difference between activation and top rated, feel free to type in those questions now or towards the end of the session where we'll have our QA session. But that would be it, guys. Activation, pretty simple. Top rated badge. All right, I got to work on it a little bit. I got to be specific and awesome. All right, great, Sarah. So moving forward, guys, I'm going to share a few do's and don'ts. So let me stop sharing screen, stop distracting. So do's and don'ts more in the interview phase, right? So let's think mindset interview. So we've passed the activation, the top rated. I've now moved forward to the interview phase. I'm now going to an interview, either multiple interviews, my first one with CloudTask, my first one in 3 years, whatever the case is. There's a few do's and don'ts. I've mentioned some in the past, so I'll probably repeat a few, but I'll try and mention some new ones. So some do's, let's think about the positives, then we'll move on to the negative. So the do's, do be there early, right? You guys should be there early. There's no excuse, especially if it's a virtual call. If you're running late, guys, you got Danny, you got Blue on the team, you got Mateo, you got Arturo, you got quite a few individuals that you can quickly chat. And again, don't just, use this at last minute. Oh, crap, I forgot I had a meeting. Danny, I'm stuck in traffic. Can I get half an hour? That's something that would go on the do not do. So do be there early. If you're running late, let us know. We'll give you guys that 2 minute, 3 minute, type of space. Hey, Danny, my internet just went out. All the typical things that happen. That's why it's so important to be there early, guys. So if the interview is set for 3 p.m. and you get there at 3 p.m., you're late. That should be the mentality, right? That should be the mentality. If you get there at 2:50, you're right on time. 10 minutes before the call is perfect, just in case your computer restarts. You got to run and get your charger. You got to go get some water. Whatever it is, you should be there early. Enough said. What else should you do? You should research before you even jump on an interview. Now, I have, asked you guys, hey, are you available in the next hour, right? In the next 45 minutes? But typically you do have a day or two, right, before the interview happens. Even if you have an hour, guys, check out the website, company website. Easy. Check out the products, the services. Easy. Check out a video on YouTube. If you're like me and you understand a product and service by watching a video a lot easier, and then reading the About Me section, and then looking at the products, the more the merrier. Know that you don't have to be a subject matter expert, but you should do your research so you can easily state, oh, yeah, I know what you guys do. Or I have an idea of what you guys do. You guys do X, Y to the Z. Is that right? So research. Be on time. What else should we do? Dress properly. Dress properly. All right, I got my nice little Perry Ellis shirt. And then again, if I caught you guys, within a 30-minute time frame, you're going to be able, to let me know if you guys have to take the call and the camera is out, right? you need to turn it on. If it's off because, there's a technical difficulty, you guys need to be resourceful, right? So if the camera on the computer is not working, use your phone. I'm going to jump on my phone. I'm going to put my pretty face on there, and I'm going to speak through the camera. Through the microphone on my laptop, right? Or vice versa. So be resourceful, right? Be on time, guys. Dress professionally. Make sure you have your camera on. And let's move on to the don'ts. Do not reschedule an hour before an interview. Does not make you look good. Now, if there's an emergency, and you are the one that you classify what is an emergency, you let us know what that emergency is, because all we are is the messenger, right? We're going to tell the hiring company what happened. And again, guys, they are the ones that kind of gauge that BS meter, if you guys understood that analogy. So if not, they are the ones that determine if they want to reschedule or not based on the reason that you share. That's it. All we do is provide that message. So make sure that it's a credible message. That's it. So don't reschedule an hour before the interview. Yeah, definitely don't. Don't negotiate on the first interview, but be prepared if the question comes up. Hey, Danny, how much are you looking to make on a monthly basis? Commission involved, OTE. What are you looking to make? I wasn't really prepared for this. That wouldn't be a good approach. But I would also recommend don't give up your impacting questions at the end. Hey, Danny, do you have any questions before we jump off this interview? Yeah, I see that you guys have the job post for 2,500. I'd really like to negotiate maybe 3,000. So first interview wouldn't be the best place. Second interview, most likely. If there's an assignment done, make sure you do it quickly. Make sure you do an assignment quickly, because it's a competition. There's other individuals involved, right? There's other candidates involved. So assignment assessments are very important to finish quickly, guys. And then I think that's it. I can go on a rant forever, but we do have an email with all these pointers, so we will share that after our call. But those would be some of the many do's and don'ts during an interview phase. And then finally, make sure, might go back to the do's, make sure you have some impacting questions for your interviewer, just because, again, that's what makes you stand out from the rest that are being interviewed. So the reason why is mostly you guys will say, hey, do you have any questions? Yeah. What are the vacations like? What's the culture like? Could you tell me what a typical day of an SDR looks like? Right. So all these general questions are what a typical day of an SDR, you should know that. And that goes for any role, right? You should know that. Maybe at my company, it's a bit different, but you that's not a great question or impacting question to ask. Company benefits, culture, all that good stuff would be if you're interviewing with an HR personnel, HR manager, HR director, anyone within HR. Typically, you're meeting with founders, owners, right? C-level sales managers, right? So it's not the HR personnel. And secondly, you guys are being hired as contractors, right? So keep that in mind when you're asking these impacting questions. So more of an impacting question would be showing your curiosity around the role. So let's just use, again, an example, SDR. I want to know who their ideal customer profile is, right? Who their ideal persona is, what type of tools they're currently using, both internally and externally, right? So I'm curious, and I know that it's going to be beneficial for me to know who their ideal customer profile is. That way I can know, can I help in this sector? What industries are you mainly looking for? How many leads do you guys currently have? And what's the source of these leads? Are you guys paying just, a lead gen source, or you guys doing your own lead gen? Is it referrals, right? So the more impacting the question is based off of curiosity and how you can portray yourself as a professional, that's what's making you stand out from other individuals that are just saying, no questions. When do I start? Right? So that's enough. I think that's enough. So with do's and don'ts, we're going to move now to a success story, right? We're going to move on to a positive interview that moved on to an offer sent and someone getting a job, right? So let me share screens, make sure once again, computer sound is on. There we go. All right. So we have my man Salman on the call. And once again, let's see if, off of our first do, Salman did it, right? Which was be early.
How's it?
Okay, give me one sec. Yeah, I wanted to show from the very beginning. All right, so Solomon's on there, has his virtual background, smart as well. If the current place where you're at, there might be people in the back, it's a little untidy. Let's make sure we send a good image. All right, so Jacob has now joined.
How's it going?
So obviously the candidate is there before. Let's continue.
Hey, Jacob. How are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Good. I think Jonas will be joining this here in just a second. I think he's back to back right now, so I'll give him just a couple minutes to hop in, and then we can do some more formal introductions, just so that you don't have to repeat yourself or anything like that.
Cool. Sounds good. No problem, man.
Awesome.
All right, so they're going to do a little chit-chatting. No need to go there. We're going to go straight into when Jonas joins. All right.
Hi. Hey, Jonas. How are you?
Good. I'm extremely sorry. It seems like I ended up as you, Jacob, in a HubSpot hole.
Happens to the best of us.
That's okay. No problem.
I was
Appreciate
telling
you guys joining me today.
I was telling Solomon that we would hang off on the formal introductions until you were here, just so we didn't have to repeat each other, or ourselves. But yeah, my name's Jacob. It's great to meet you. I oversee the AE team here, and I wear a few other hats too, so I'm pretty integrated into the work life of Flash Intel, if you will. So it's great to meet you. And then we have Jonas here, and I'll let him run through a quick intro of himself as well.
Yep. I'm Jonas. I'm the VP of revenue. So I'm trying to have control over most things that bring some income to the company. Where CSM, of course, is one important part to retain and keep customers happy and do some upsell, right?
Absolutely. Appreciate the intros. So I'm Solomon. I'm a customer success manager. I've got about 5 years experience in SaaS as a CSM. And prior to that, I spent about 3 years as an SDR, business development rep, working in SaaS sales in San Francisco. So I got kind of a hybrid background between sales and post-sales as well.
Walk me through a little bit of that just real quick while we're talking about it. Solomon, what software were you selling as a CSM and or as a BDR?
Sure. So as a
So quick little parentheses there. So again, being there early is always a positive. Jonas even excused himself. Hey, sorry about that. Was on a different link. You already look good. Brownie points on you. Now, what typically happens from the very beginning? I love how formal, Flash Intel actually was, stating their roles. Yeah, very, very professional. Others might be quicker to the point. Hey, tell me a little bit more about yourself, or tell me what you researched about us. Tell me what you love about my company. Tell me, yeah, exactly that. What did you research about us? What do you know about us? So this approach was more, tell me a little bit about yourself. It was well done, quick to the point. Now, Jacob, who oversees the account executive team, obviously the sales team and other hats, immediately wants to pinpoint a little bit more and piggyback on those things. So let's check out and see what he said. And the reason I'm saying that is sometimes we sell ourselves so well that either we get to the role, we get to the finish line, we get that job, but we're not able to, actually perform, and vice versa. On these interviews, sometimes we're very, very quick to, hey, I've been doing this, and this. Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that secret sauce, that success story. How many people were you leading? What type of industries? Right. So just be wary of that. So let's see how Salman continues explaining.
BDR, I started out at a small startup called Building Connected. It was construction-focused software. They were eventually acquired by Autodesk. I then moved into an SDR role at On24. They are a webinar marketing platform, so we were highly focused on selling to marketers and training departments who were building and enable departments that were building out training materials for their internal teams. And that was actually where I got my first exposure to account management. The account rep that I was working with was focused focused on working with existing customers to find new business units. So I spent about 6 months of my time there really focused on existing customers. And that was my first exposure to the account management, customer success side of things. Really enjoyed that. I then moved on to another SDR role at Schedulo. This was pre-pandemic. And then I was moving out of the Bay Area and they were not going to accommodate remote work. So that's why I left that role. And then I started in customer success in January of 2020 and have been in customer success since then. So not sure if you have my resume, but I spent about 3 years at My Do Good, which was a platform where we facilitated sales meetings and gave charity donations in exchange for those meetings. So we had a list or a network of qualified IT individuals who would take a vendor meetings. And in exchange for those meetings, we would make a donation to their charity of choice. And then after that, I spent a year and a half at Commvault, big data backup and security company. Was there for a year and a half, managed enterprise customers, mid-market. SMB was largely covered by our digital team. So I was largely focused on mid-market and enterprise, had a $7 million portfolio, hit 110% of quota retention quarter over quarter there. And then most recently, I moved over to an independent contractor position at 80/20 REI. They're a real estate data focused company. And so now I'm looking for my next role, and CloudTask reached out about this opportunity, and that's how we got here.
Awesome.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Real quick, I'm just going to send our meeting bot. I was about to tell my meeting bot something and then it wasn't here. So I'm just going to send it in here real quick because I just noticed that.
The new form of taking notes.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was,
Yeah.
I know you obviously haven't I've seen our system, but part of our system is our meeting bot. So we have a meeting bot that's integrated into our sales system. So I can come in later and talk to it and have it do all kinds of crazy cool stuff. However, I wanted it to note, and here it is, to talk to Jonas about NGOs and offering funding or donations for conversations. I love that idea. So yeah, just throwing that out there. But yeah, no, I appreciate that insight, Salman. That gives me a good scope of your work history. And then how'd you meet CloudTask? What brought you to these guys, and how'd you start working with them?
So I actually live in Medellin, Colombia. And so that's how I found CloudTask. They were a network where it was really helpful for me when I'm looking for roles out here. Obviously, with the work from anywhere trend now, it's helpful to have agencies like this. So that's how I found CloudTask. I found Dave on LinkedIn. I found Amir on LinkedIn, and have just been following those guys closely. I made my profile probably over a year ago. And then I've just been keeping track of them since then. I was previously employed, so I wasn't actively interviewing, but now looking to get back into the swing of things. And so this was the first conversation that CloudTask has kind of set up for me.
Awesome. I love that. And then walk me through a little bit about what you know about us, just kind of in your pre-interview research.
Yeah, so what I know about Flash Lab so far is you guys have two main products, it seems, to be Flash Rev and Flash AI. First, I want to make sure I'm on the right page with both of those. Those are kind of the primary targets. So in terms of Flash Rev, my understanding so far is it operates pretty similarly to how 6sense operate. It provides buyer data and sales intent data for sales team to use and how to target individuals. And then you have Flash AI, which is agentic AI, basically to do the outreach. That's kind of my understanding.
Yeah. Holistically, yeah. When we put it really simple, you could think, are you familiar with Clay?
Yes, I've heard of Clay as well. Yes.
Think of if Clay had outreach tools built into it, like Orem, Nooks, Chili Piper, and various other things with AI helping too. So our goal is really for companies to need one sales tool, and that's us. You don't need 10, right? You don't need to go spend $2,000 per rep to equip them with 10 tools. We're the solution for that. So really sophisticated platform, dude. It's a fun thing to sell. It's a fun company to be a part of. And that being said, we want to make sure we're keeping our customers happy, which is where you come into play. So walk me through, you had mentioned obviously some BDR work, and that BDR work is actually interesting to me, being that we sell a marketing and sales tool. We help people source meetings, book business, whatever. So walk me through kind of what you're.
Quick little parentheses there. So as we spoke before, so you can either get that question or both, right? Either, hey, walk me through your experience. Tell me a little bit about what you researched about us, right? Even if the question doesn't come up, tell me about your work experience. You're on an interview. That's what you should do, right? So yeah, I think so far Salman's done a great job. He's done a great job being able to express his work experience, making Jacob and Jonas feel more comfortable with what they're hearing. He even liked the idea about, okay, donations. Yeah, that actually sounds interesting. I'd like, right? So again, great job. I think it's going really good so far. Now there's another question coming up. All right, not bad. And we're at the technically 7-minute mark since they joined a little bit late. Let's check it out.
Scope was your day-to-day in those BDR roles?
Sure. Going back a while. So when I was a BDR, cold calling, all of my roles, none of them were inbound roles. So I was responsible for outbound cold calling, prospecting, working with my account executive to make sure not just that I'm targeting the right list, but that within that list, we're targeting the right companies. So I've had some AEs who are saying, hey, my bread and butter is the healthcare space. That's what I want to go after. Let's prioritize healthcare systems and hospital systems to go after. Boom. If I'm on the same page with him, that makes my life easier. I hit quota, he hits his closed revenue goals, and we're all happy. And other roles, as I mentioned at On24, I was very focused on the account expansion piece. So working with existing business units. So those conversations were different. They were still cold outreach in the sense that I was reaching people for the first time. However, a lot of those came with internal referrals where I could name drop and say, hey, so-and-so is already using this. We've already passed your procurement process. We're an approved vendor. We have a use case that is specifically for enablement, specifically for trainings and webinars. Can we have a conversation? And so that's how a lot of those conversations went, where it was focused on just kind of using the warm lead to get a foot in the door and then allowing my account manager to go in and close the sale. And then after that, when I was at Schedulo, that was back to a purely outbound role. Everything was cold calling and prospecting. So typically 50 to 60 dials per day, cold emails, LinkedIn prospecting, exactly what you would expect from an SDR.
No, I appreciate that. And so my next question kind of piggybacks off of that. What made you want to commit to the CSM role over the account executive role? Obviously, there's a lot of similarities between those two, being that you've already kind of mastered the outreach side of it. What made you choose the CSM route?
I really enjoyed the aspect of, I guess, in the SDR role, you're either hunting or farming. I really resonated with the farmer role of being in there, getting in the weeds with a specific client, learning the different business units, saying, okay, once I know the product well enough, I can recommend, hey, you can use this in this manner. You can use this in this manner. And also with the sales background, I'm not afraid to have those more revenue focused conversations where it's not that I'm doing the sale itself, but to at least get the floodgates open, provide resources, answer some initial questions for them. That can go a long way for an account executive and warming the deal up. And so for me, I really excelled at that. And throughout my time in customer success, I just keep doubling down because I enjoy it. It's very different than the account executive SDR role where it's really fast paced. You're just having an initial conversation and then you hand it over to the AE, and then you have a conversation and you hand it over to the AE. For me, that was very hands off. And I prefer to be more involved and get to know how the business works. It's also a great learning opportunity for me to learn different industries and different characters and what their priorities are, and then, frame what I'm saying accordingly.
I appreciate that.
Right.
Could you walk me through an example where a customer account of yours, maybe they were having a technical issue to the degree that like even more technical than you were able to resolve for them immediately? What's your process for that? How'd you handle it and get those guys back onto track for success?
There's one particular client that I think of.
So I want to make a quick parentheses here as well, guys. So again, midway through the interview, I think everything's being managed very well. I actually want to fast forward towards the end where we can see, are there any questions that came up, right? Is there any negotiation happening? Is Salman ready and prepared, right, for an uncomfortable question? And seems like it, right? He was able to answer, hey, so you have experience in sales, CSM. Why did you, prefer going on the CSM route instead of account executive? I think, he answered that very, very well. So far, so good. Let's fast forward. As you guys can see, if you've used Course before, this time frame right here, Salman's going to be speaking. So right here, let's see what Jacob states right now.
Insight. And Jonas, before I pass it over to you for your anything that you might have questions for, My last one's, what are the two most important roles or responsibilities of a CSM?
Retention, and I'm not going to say renewals because that'll go with retention. So I would say retention and customer satisfaction and upsells, depending on the role. Not every company puts upsells under CSM responsibility, but I do think it is a CSM responsibility.
So do we. No, that's a good answer. Appreciate it. Jonas, anything? I know I've been hogging the questions so far. Jonas, did you have anything that you wanted to ask?
He heard I was an SDR and he just lost it.
I know. I was like, I into that a little bit.
Oh, sorry, you're on mute, Jonas. Can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, that's up your alley, Jacob. Like the
Right.
SDR. Whoa, yeah.
Right. Oh, hey, let's chat.
But you were mentioning San Francisco. Were you actually living there, or you remotely working for a San Francisco team?
Yeah, I was in San Francisco. So I went to UC Berkeley for my university. And then from there, I was in San Francisco for about the next 2.5, 3 years up until just about the pandemic time. And then I switched to fully remote work from there.
So you could probably add a 0 if you would stay in San Francisco.
Yeah. Quality of life and is very important to me. Also, as a man, for the woman I love, I'll do anything. And so I'm here because for the woman I love. The woman I love is Colombian.
Your own meetings.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah. Okay.
I would absolutely consider it.
Our thank you
Sorry,
here
go ahead.
too, Salman, just to give you some insight on kind of our perspective. Our product is now, we've been young, right? So our CEO, I don't know if you've checked him out.
I can stop sharing now, guys. Let me now highlight some of the pros. So once again, seems like they're pretty set on. I've already told you guys that there was an offer, right, sent out. So the whole interview, as you guys can see, was handled very well done. Very, very well done. The way that he positioned, he might have had the website open. Hey, what do you know about Flash Intel? Well, I see that you guys have two main products, AI, I don't know what, and this other one. Am I on the right page? Am I on the right path? Yes, continue. All right, let me keep going. So the way that Salman handled the interview, again, was very well done. I recommend that, you guys do your research. You guys get there on time. You guys make sure you have a few impacting questions, even if my man Salman didn't have to use any on this specific call. Make sure that they're impacting. And that's it. And that's it, guys. I hope that was helpful. Let's move on to our Q&A session. And I'll stop sharing while we get those questions up. All right. So, Danny, if a company wants to interview with me, do they have to go through you guys first? Then you communicate with me. So, as of now, the platform is live where a company can actually go and click on request interview, right? You accept it, and then you get options of what time frames, right? So you guys are able to self-serve in that form of speaking, right, Boris? So yeah, they don't need to go specifically through us. Have we noticed that it's still 95% that's the case? Yes. Until there's more usability, more adaptability to the platform, I'd say that it's still going to be through us. But yeah, they can definitely request an interview with you guys directly. You guys can accept it. You'll get the calendar invitation. And you guys, if you have a top rated badge, you're also able to apply directly. All right. All right, let's see. What are some of the tools that hiring companies are looking for a candidate to have? So, guys, Clay has definitely been a huge one that's been, been requested a lot more. And then again, it depends on what roles, right? But if I'm speaking about general, Clay's the first one that came to my head with that question. Obviously, if you have experience using HubSpot, Salesforce, or other forms of CRM, so I would bucket CRM in general. If you have experience using spreadsheets, Gmail, that's fine. But if you haven't used a CRM yet, I highly recommend, you start browsing HubSpot. There's some free courses there. You can start using it, playing around with the tool. But yeah, I would say as far as tools, Clay has definitely been a huge player that's being asked. All right. Cool stuff. Yeah, man. Salman's on there accepting that offer. What other questions may we have? Oh, all right. I think that is it. That is it. Guys, thank you so much for joining another one of our skill bridges on Wednesday is at 10:30. We will be moving them around. So just be wary of that. Be wary of that. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. If you have an activated profile and you believe you are a top rated badge, I expect you to reach out to me today. Send me a WhatsApp message, email me or the team, give me a call, and we'll get you guys with that top rated badge. All right. Have a great one.